Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're digging into an executive story that really breaks the mold.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
We're looking at Yingzheng, as we're calling him, and this incredible career pivot he pulled off. I mean, going from pure, intense academic scholarship
Like, really intense.
straight into top-tier senior corporate management. It's one of the most extreme shifts we've looked at.
Definitely. And what makes it stand out is where he started. We're talking about a classic Zuba, that Chinese term for the super dedicated, top-scoring scholar
Right.
from Inner Mongolia, no less. He ranked 76th in his entire province on the Gaokao, the big college entrance exam in China. That score takes just unbelievable levels of hard work.
And you'd expect that path to lead to research, maybe a professorship, right?
Totally. That's the usual route.
But nope, he ends up a senior exec in a state-owned enterprise, an SOE, managing these huge digital transformation projects in travel and tourism.
And doing very well. We're hearing an annual salary over 3 million RMB, apparently the highest in this whole group.
That jump is just huge. So our focus today, our mission is really specific. We want to pull out his personal methodology.
Exactly. Not what company he chose, or even what specific job. It's about how he made those choices, those really big, sometimes radical career decisions.
How does someone grounded in that academic sea of problems approach learn to navigate the messy world of business?
That's the core question.
Okay, so let's start with that foundation, the academic side, because it really defined his early life.
Oh, absolutely. High school was, I think he said 99.99% learning.
Yeah, something like that. Tutoring over 70 classmates, working these intense late-night study sessions like 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., just pure focused effort.
He was the definition of this Zuba.
And that focus kind of blinded him to everything else, right? There's that famous steel straight man story.
Right. A female classmate asks him to dinner before study, which is, a pretty clear social signal.
A big deal.
And he just shoots her down.
Yeah.
Instantly. But his reason wasn't personal rejection. It was pure logic.
He basically told her, eating with you means waiting in line, it takes too much time, and it'll mess up my tutoring schedule.
He literally did a cost-benefit analysis of dinner versus study time. It's incredible.
It paints this picture of someone whose whole world runs on optimization,
Wow.
on metrics.
Exactly. Which makes his first really big life decision university and major so. Well, kind of shocking.
A total paradox.
Absolutely. He's ranked 76th. He could have gone to Peking University, Beida, one of the best, but he refused.
Why?
Because the other top school, Tsinghua, only took the top 35 from his province. He couldn't get in there.
Wait, so he turns down Peking University because he couldn't get into Tsinghua?
Yep. He felt it would be a loss of face. That's how intense the pressure and pride around the Gaokao rankings can be.
Wow. That's almost self-sabotaging academic pride.
It really shows you the emotional weight of that system. His choice wasn't about academic fit or what he wanted to study. It was all external validation.
So why Zhejiang University then?
Pure chance, basically. Their admissions officers was just the first one to show up at his house.
Seriously, that's how he picked.
That's the story. Completely arbitrary.
And the major material science and engineering, was that also arbitrary?
Pretty much. He admitted later it was just based on buzzwords flying around then, new materials, new energy. He said himself there was no logic behind it.
Ouch. So he gets to Zhejiang U.
And he gets hit with reality. He used the word dumbfounded. His classmates told him that for his high Gaokao score, material science was seen as kind of mid-tier or even low-tier.
That must have been a massive blow for someone whose identity was built on being top of the academic game.
Oh, for sure. A huge shock.
But he didn't just, give up or transfer.
No, and this is key. Instead of dwelling on the wrong choice, he immediately course-corrected his approach. Not the subject, the approach.
How so?
He figured, okay, the content of this major might not be ideal for my ambitions.
Yeah.
But the university itself is still a resource.
So he shifted focus.
Yeah. He decided to focus on learning the methodology, the way of thinking, the problem-solving skills university teaches, rather than just the specific facts about materials. He consciously kept his options open for the future.
That's a really important pivot in thinking. Education becomes less about the what and more about the how, developing transferable skills.
Exactly. It stops being about absorbing knowledge and starts being about building a toolkit.
And that thinking really sets the stage for his next phase, right? The intentional exploration, especially in grad school.
Yes. Undergrad at Zhejiang, He was still academically strong, publishing papers that were apparently PhD-level stuff.
Still the Zaba.
Still got it. But he also started, noticing the world around him a bit more. He mentioned making an effort to talk to students from really different backgrounds,
Yeah.
like a bi-ethnic student from Yunnan. He saw value in diverse perspectives.
Interesting. So a slight opening up, but then grad school. He went straight back into material science at Shanghai Jiao Tong University.
He did. But again, the reasoning was pure pragmatism. He got direct admission, which meant no more entrance exams, and it got him to Shanghai. He wasn't passionate about the subject. He was optimizing the path to his next goal, figuring out his career.
Minimizing academic friction to maximize career exploration.
Precisely. He knew his academic path hadn't stemmed from some deep inner calling, so he had this big gap. What was he actually good at? What did he like doing in a professional context?
An only way to find out
Was massive experimentation, radical exploration. He had to actively go out there and discover his fit.
which leads us to the internship blitz. Sounds intense.
It really was. Super aggressive, totally cross-disciplinary. He jumped into internships in commercial banking, consulting, completely different fields.
Was he aiming for prestigious roles?
Not at all. He said often he was just doing basic stuff,
Yeah.
copying tables, running simple calculations. The goal wasn't the job title, it was the experience, getting a feel for the rhythm, the culture, the actual work of different industries.
And just soaking it all in.
Yeah, pure data gathering.
And this strategy peaked during his actual job search after grad school. He treated it like R&D.
Exactly. Research and development on himself and the market. This is maybe the most brilliant part of his methodology.
Kat, lay it out for us.
He applied for over 300 different jobs.
300.
Yep. Which led to something like 70-plus actual job offers. But here's the kicker. The real point of those 300 applications wasn't just the offers.
What was it then?
It was getting 300 chances to sit down and talk with mid to high-level managers during the interviews.
So the interviews themselves were the research process.
Exactly. It was like a free, personalized market research project across dozens of companies and sectors. He was learning directly from the people doing the hiring.
What kind of intel was he gathering in those meetings?
He was seeing how different businesses worked, what their goals were, how they structured teams, what kind of language managers used, what metrics mattered most to the leadership, to the CEO.
So he was building this internal map of the corporate world from scratch.
Pretty much. Knowledge he absolutely did not have coming from pure science. He learned the landscape of leadership by talking to leaders.
That's such a shift from the isolated scholar solving problems on paper. He became an active data collector in the real world.
A complete transformation in approach.
And all this data, all these interviews, they clearly pointed him away from his science background towards something totally different. Sales. Why sales?
It was a very calculated decision. He analyzed how companies are run, how people get to the top.
Okay.
He concluded that if his ultimate goal was to be the boss, the CEO, there were basically two main paths.
Yeah.
Become the CFO, controlling the money,
Right, finance.
or lead big sales, be the company's helmsman, the one driving revenue.
And with a material science background.
CFO was probably not a realistic immediate path. He didn't have the financial training. So big sales became the logical target if he wanted top leadership potential.
Makes sense. And this strategic thinking also explains why he turned down some potentially high-status, high-paying jobs early on, right? Like investment banking or consulting.
Yes. Which seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Most grads would jump at those.
Definitely risky. Rejecting prestige and big starting salaries. What was his logic there?
It was all about the ceiling, not the floor. He saw those careers as having a high starting point, but potentially a limited highest point.
How so?
His quote was something like, "It might always be a high position, but it's not the highest because you'll always be a consultant." He saw consulting, for instance, as fundamentally advising, not leading, not being the ultimate decision maker.
He wasn't aiming for high up, he was aiming for at the top.
Exactly. The absolute peak of the pyramid.
So when it came down to the final decision, he was choosing between, what was it, mobile oil sales and Unilever management trainee for sales.
Yeah, Mobile Esso versus Unilever. And he chose Unilever.
Why Unilever over big oil?
Because Unilever is an FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. He believed that industry, while maybe less glamorous initially than oil, offered far better, more structured training and development for general management down the line.
Interesting. So the choice was based on the quality of the training program itself.
Entirely.
Yeah.
He was investing in his future skill set, not just the immediate job or brand name.
And clearly that paid off. His career took off. He was involved in that whole online travel and hotel boom, driving some of that digital growth.
Hugely successful. Which sort of brings us to where he is now. This high-level SOE executive role sounds incredibly intense.
Yeah, managing huge integrations, digital shifts, post-pandemic recovery challenges, layoffs, hitting tough targets, political pressures. It's complex stuff.
He mentioned working crazy hours, right? Like 7 days a week, 14-hour days at peak times.
Though he said it's stabilized a bit now. But that capacity for sheer effort, that zoo-bad work ethic he had in high school, it's clearly still there.
It never left. He just channeled it differently, applied it strategically to business problems instead of academic ones. And he's still pushing. He said he's in his 40s, still focused on maximizing his influence.
So let's synthesize this. After this incredible journey, this 180-degree turn from scholar to executive, what's the core takeaway? The methodology for someone listening who's facing their own big choices.
Well, first, interestingly, he acknowledges the stress. He called himself an inner child who easily felt pressured at those big decision points.
So it wasn't easy for him either.
Not at all, but his advice is crucial. Don't let that pressure paralyze you. Don't let the anxiety stop you from acting.
And that leads to his kind of, his core formula, right? The big takeaway.
Yeah, the line that really sticks out. You won't choose correctly every time. You won't choose incorrectly every time.
I like that. It takes some pressure off finding the perfect choice.
Exactly. He says what really matters comes down to two things you can control. First, deliberate consideration. Do the homework, do the analysis like his 300 interviews. Put thought into the options.
Okay, step one, think it through.
But step two is maybe even more important. Commit fully to whatever path you do choose. Give it everything you've got.
So the initial choice doesn't need to be flawless.
Nope. But the commitment after the choice, that needs to be absolute, total effort.
That really shifts the focus, doesn't it? It's less about predicting the future perfectly and more about executing brilliantly in the present.
You got it. He's basically saying the success of your choice often depends more on how well you work the choice after you make it, rather than the initial correctness of the choice itself.
And he sees proof of this elsewhere.
Yeah, he looks at successful classmates who stayed in academia or research. They took different paths, but the ones who succeeded also applied that same intense commitment and effort.
Different roads, same dedication.
Which leads to his final piece of advice. The golden rule he'd give his younger, stressed-out self.
What's that?
Don't have so much pressure. Actually, any path you walk well will lead to Rum.
Any path walked well. The emphasis is on the walking.
Precisely.
So looking back, that intense academic foundation, it wasn't the material science knowledge that mattered for his executive career.
Not directly, no.
It was the underlying methodology, the ability to analyze, to work relentlessly, to execute systematically. That's what he learned tackling that sea of problems.
He just took that engine, the analysis, the effort, and pointed it at the business world instead of textbooks. He used education for training his approach and his early career as a lab for self-discovery.
Gather the data, make a considered choice, then commit with that 99.99% intensity.
That's the pattern.
Which leaves us and you listening with a final thought to chew on. If the real key to success is the quality of your commitment to the path you're on, how might shifting your focus right now away from the anxiety of finding the single perfect next step and towards the discipline of truly mastering the step you're currently taking, how might that change what you do today or tomorrow?
Think about it. Are the tasks in front of you just things to get through? Or are they experiments, opportunities for data gathering deserving of your maximum effort? Like Ying Zhang showed, walking any path well. That's how you get to Rome.
A powerful idea to consider. We hope this deep dive gives you some useful perspective for your own journey. We'll catch you next time.